So the second step is to install Kali. Well, since we'll use the OVA file, it'd be better to say import for this step. And the download's finished. It's under the download folder. Now I'll open a VirtualBox interface, choose import, and choose the OVA file under the download folder and click continue. So as you can see, there are the suggested settings of VirtualBox for the imported virtual machine. RAM is 2 gigs by default. Now just click Import and agree to the license agreement in order to continue. And it starts to import. It may take a couple of minutes. So I want to look at the size of the empty space on my host. df command simply displays the free disk space, and -h parameter makes the result human readable. Now I have 140 gigabytes of free space, and that should be plenty for this installation. Installation's finished, and this is the summary of the VM. RAM is 2 gigabytes by default, and if you have enough RAM on your host system, I suggest you increase it. Networking is NAT at just as I want. Now just click on the Start button. Okay, the virtual machine could not be started. So I wonder about the details of this error, don't you? Okay then, so to fix this problem, we'll need to install the Oracle VM VirtualBox extension pack. So I'll copy this part, and I'll just search on the web. So now let's look at the official site of VirtualBox. We can download it under the title of Oracle VM VirtualBox extension pack. So we'll just click on this link and save the file. And it quickly downloads. So let's open the file and click Install. And again, I'll accept the virtual license agreement. And finally, enter the password to complete the installation. And now it's been installed successfully. So now I'd like to go to the Preferences and double-check the extension packages. And everything is okay. Good. So now we can start again. Okay, so our Kali is booting for the first time. Click Switch for the full screen mode. And here we are at the login screen. Now, in addition to the changes that I mentioned in the previous lecture, there is another important change in this Kali 2020.2 release. The default user account is now a standard unprivileged user. Kali is no longer using the super user account root by default, right? So the new default credentials are Kali and Kali. And welcome to Kali 2020.2. Now, normally the screen resolution automatically fits your particular screen, but if you have any resolution problems like I appear to be having, you can change the scale for your screen. So first, I'll just open up the display settings, and I can choose the resolution value to be 1920 by 1200 and click the Apply button. Now go to Preferences, and under the Display tab, you can change the scale factor. So I'll set this value to be 190% of my screen, and you can change it to whatever you want and just try different values for your screen. All right, so I'll click OK. Now let's look at the changes. Yeah, that's pretty good. So let's open a terminal screen and check the network connection. When I run the ifconfig command with standard user privileges, I will get an error because the ifconfig command is under the sbin folder and requires root privileges. So why don't we have a look inside that sbin folder? As you can see, I can run the cd, pwd, and ls commands without sudo. These commands do not require root privileges. However, the commands that are under the sbin folder must be run with sudo. Ifconfig is here, and let's run this command with sudo. And it's okay now. Of course, there is a more practical solution. We can always switch the user to root so that we don't have to write sudo for every command that requires root privileges. So let's run sudo su. Okay, so I'm root now, and I'll double check that with the whoami command. Well, now I can run any command which requires super user privileges without sudo. And this is my IP address. If ifconfig didn't obtain an IP address, that means that you have a problem with your network configuration. It's not a problem. Problems do occur, and I certainly will give you some solutions to fix any possible network problems in the next lecture.